Have you ever been walking in the hallways with your peers and wondered why, when you walk by the special ed classroom, that the students cannot be in the same classroom as you? Well, the students could have this opportunity, but some schools do not allow it. This opportunity is called an inclusive classroom. An inclusive classroom is when students, no matter their ability, are put into classrooms, and it helps the students with a disability to improve for later life later on. Today, I will be telling you about both social and academic benefits for inclusive classroom settings for students with and without disabilities. I grew up being a peer buddy, which is when an atypical student takes a student with a disability into general ed classrooms and they help them out and they see how they improve socially and academically, and then you report back to the teacher and tell them how they did. But today I'll be discussing what some people see wrong with inclusive classrooms and also counteract that with social and academic benefits for students with and without disabilities in inclusive classrooms. Now you have a general idea of what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to start off with the problems some people see with inclusive classrooms. Some people feel that having inclusive classroom settings can have negative effects to students with disabilities and without disabilities. People do not believe inclusive settings can benefit neither a student with or without disabilities. In an article written by the SEDL called Concerns About and Arguments Against Inclusion, a poll was conducted by the AFT in West Virginia in 2004, and 78% of the people in the poll said that they do not believe the inclusive classrooms would help either students with or without disabilities. People also see that these inclusive settings can create unfit and unsafe learning environments for both students. People say this because they're afraid that the students with disabilities would lash out, because they lash out when they get angry, confused, or not get enough attention from the students. Also in an article by the SDL, they said that people were concerned that students with disabilities were getting too many resources and too much of the teacher's attention, and that the students in the general ed classroom were not getting any attention at all. Now that we have established what some people see wrong with inclusive classrooms, I'm going to begin discussing the social and academic benefits for students without disabilities in an inclusive classroom. There are many social and academic benefits of inclusive classrooms for students without disabilities. Being a part of an inclusive classroom can help improve social skills and communication skills for students without disabilities. According to Douglas Fisher, in examining the pragmatic benefits of inclusive education in 2002, students without disabilities who experience inclusive classrooms can see exceeding growth in self-esteem. And they see this because they help out the students or they've helped them fix a problem. And when they see the excitement on their face, it makes them feel good about themselves inside. In a study done by Lucky Singh in Inclusive Education, a renaissance with up-team benefits to all in 2019, it says that students who experience inclusive classroom settings can give them the diversity of others by experiencing diversity of autism, Down syndrome, and even blind and deaf students, depending on who's in the classroom. Being a part of an inclusive classroom setting can also have academic benefits for students without disabilities. Douglas Fisher also said in his article that the growth can be seen that disabilities in inclusive classroom settings can grow academic cognition. This can be seen because students can figure out different ways to solve problems from the students with disabilities, and they can help them figure out different ways to solve it than what they've been taught, and it may be easier for that student. In a study done by the Swiss Center and the Benefits of Inclusive Education for All Students in 2015, students who provide peer support for those who have disabilities will increase academic achievement and also assignment completion. They do this because students with disabilities learn by visual, and if they see you doing well, they'll want to do well too. So you want to make sure you're doing well so they can see it. Now you see how inclusive classrooms can benefit students without disabilities. I'm now going to talk about the social and academic benefits for students with disabilities in an inclusive classroom. And for that, I have a chart right here that is titled The Benefits of Inclusion for Students with Disabilities Beyond Academics. And right here it says if a student is in an inclusive classroom, they're less likely to receive a disciplinary referral, 7.5% down, more likely to begin part of a social group is 3.4% up, more likely to have competitive employment, it goes up 11.2%, and also it goes up 10% for them to live by themselves or live with somebody else other than their parents or their home they've been in their whole life. Along with allowing them to be involved in everyday things, inclusive classroom settings can also help individuals without disabilities. Inclusive classroom helps students with varying disabilities with their social and communication skills. In Lucky Singh's article that I mentioned before, she states that putting individuals with disabilities in general education classrooms can help them develop role models. And when they develop their role models, they go with their people, they stay with them, and they learn how to almost like to act like them instead of acting like they have usually in their special ed classroom. This can be good or bad, but mostly good because if they develop a good role model, they will start acting like them and their social ways will change and benefit them dramatically. Along with social benefits, there are also academic benefits for students with disabilities in inclusive classrooms. In the research done by the Swiss Center, it was said that having students in inclusive classrooms can help achievement of IEP, which is an individualized education program, and can help with goals in that. And by doing this, it can help the student go from having so low of IEP goals to actually increasing it every time and having way bigger IEP goals. Inclusive education has numerous benefits both socially and academically for students with and without disabilities. Some people have a problem with having these types of classrooms, ranging from not thinking it'll help or being distracting or unfit or unsafe learning environment. But these students are given the opportunity to be in an inclusive classroom. It can help them improve their social and academic standings. By bringing inclusive classroom settings to all schools, we can help make these individuals not feel left out or feel like they're the oddball in a crowd. Also, by bringing inclusive classroom to schools, we can help all students reach their full potential and also help them out both socially and academically. Everyone in school is receiving an education. As a community, we need to work together to achieve fair and well-equipped school systems for students with disabilities and without.